You serve PAO. And like I said, John, I know I pick on you, but man, anytime I need you, you pick it right to the phone. And you cannot tell. It's hard to tell a young troop how great this place is and how good people are. But, you helped me on the Zoom thing. That was invaluable. But now I have to do them all the time, John.
I appreciate you. Well, I certainly appreciate you guys making the trek up all the way from Jasper. I know that's not an easy drive or a short drive, but it's important, and I'm glad to be able to highlight the great things that the Jasper District is doing. So our guests today have been Sergeant Davey Henderson. I wanted to say Davey Hamilton, but Davey Henderson, not the IndyCar driver.
Nope.
And
I am pretty good at it
sometimes.
And Sergeant Robbie Lambert for coming all the way up. We appreciate you guys. Stay safe and have a great holiday season.
Thank you very much.
All right.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
It's 6 a.m. Grab your coffee and smell the football. It's the Way Too Early pregame show with your host, Jimmy Cook.
Good morning, Indianapolis. Welcome to the Way Too Early pregame show. I'm your host, your master of ceremonies, Jimmy Cook. Behind the ones and twos, producer extraordinaire, Eddie Garrison. Week 18. We made it. We made it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even mean just the Colts. I mean us as a show. We started out as just a small show, breaking into the studio at 5 in the morning on a warm day in September. And now here we are. It's raining. We got lights. We got sponsorship signage. Of course, not for us, just on the circle for the concerts that have been going on throughout the weekend, getting you ready for college football championship game on Monday night. And here we are in Week 18. A chance for the Colts to keep alive not only their championship hopes, but playoff hopes with a win-and-in situation today against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We've got a lot to get to on the Way Too Early pregame show. We'll have plenty of audio, not only from Colts talk throughout the week, different pressers and such. We'll have our keys to success for Indianapolis and take a trip around the National Football League as we look at other matchups that have playoff implications for the Colts and playoff implications and ripple effects across the National Football League. But first, I mentioned this in a tweet last night, and it's as true now as it was then. So brace yourselves. The Colts are not losing this football game. There is nearly not a chance in hell that the Colts will lose this football game. In fact, there's only two ways the Colts lose this football game in my mind, at least feasible ones that I can come up with. A, Jonathan Taylor gets hurt first play from scrimmage. I initially said gets hurt. Eddie clarified that for me when we were talking earlier today before we get the show ready. Then it's first play from scrimmage. So I agree. B, and this one will probably seem more plausible for Colts fans, and you'll probably be like, why are you even speaking this into existence? What are you doing, Jay Cook? I apologize, but it's my job. B, Trevor Lawrence has his breakout game. He's been meh for pretty much his entire rookie season. If that man goes out there and throws for 4 touchdowns, 350 yards, something like that, maybe the Colts lose this ball game. I still don't think that would be enough. But those are the only two scenarios in my mind that Indianapolis loses this game. So yeah, you're like, oh, see, it's not a 0% chance. All right, yeah, I get it. It's not 0. But it's pretty darn close. Even if you didn't watch any of Patriots Jaguars a week ago, which I don't blame you for not, let me assure you, there is absolutely nothing inspiring from Jacksonville right now. It has gotten so bad in Jacksonville, regardless of what your opinion is on Urban Meyer, that they are considering interviewing Bill O'Brien for their head coaching position, which would be the latest and a tip of the cap to the man because he seems like a really nice guy in Bill O'Brien. It would be the latest in a string of failed NFL coaches that have gone to Nick Saban rehab for a year and then suddenly are back in the market to be a head coach again. For those of you that don't know, Bill O'Brien is the offensive coordinator for Alabama. They're still running along, humming like a fine-tuned machine. And, of course, we're in the national championship game on Monday. So, Bill O'Brien's back in the good graces of coaching circles now.
Or they just want to see who to not go after.
Could be. Maybe that's a good way of thinking about it. That's the Jaguars fan hopeful of thinking about it, which there's not a lot of those left. Because, by the way, another one to your list of it's gotten so bad in Jacksonville. There is a planned clown protest happening amongst the fan base. What is a planned clown protest, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. Jaguars fans are planning to going to Raymond James Stadium. Or no, it's Jacksonville Municipal, I think. I don't know. Eddie, look that up for me. They're planning to go to either Raymond James or I think it's still Jacksonville Municipal Stadium. I could be wrong. Or maybe it's both, and I've combined the two. But anyway, they're planning on going. Drumroll.
Are you wanting the name of their field or arena or stadium, or what do you want to call it?
Just stadium.
TIAA Bank Field.
Can you look at the history of that building and see if it's ever been Raymond James Stadium? Now, this is random, but it's important to me. The Jaguars fan base is planning on going to TIAA Field and dressing up like clowns to protest the direction of the franchise. It is a beautiful thing. If you're looking at your base levels of evolution for what the sad fan does, it is wear a paper bag over your head. It is organize, which the Browns once did, organize an 0-16 parade to protest the franchise and dress up like clowns. That, to me, is my power rankings, 3, 2, 1. Eddie, do you support that list?
I do. Raymond James Stadium, by the way, is for the Buccaneers. And it was
Jacksonville Municipal Stadium. All right, somewhere. Thank you. This is I guess this is a sad way to have this, but rest in peace to the legend John Madden. The only reason I know that it's Jacksonville Municipal is because of the Madden video game franchise. Because often when they're going through the scores, a final today from Jacksonville Municipal, Tennessee 55, Jacksonville 3. Not all that off in terms of a possible score for the Jaguars this year. But anyway, that's not even getting into the fact that they have suffered major injuries along the offense. Pretty much throw out a name that you remember in the starting roster for this team, they're probably not playing right now. So,
only one is Marvin Jones.
That's it. Don't get beat by Marvin Jones. I do love and have loved him since he got hurt in a game in college at Ole Miss. But Laquan Treadwell, wide receiver for the Jaguars right now, hasn't really made it big yet in the NFL, but he's still there. The receiver who I can't say his last name.
You mean the running back?
No, that's Ogunbowale. I can say that one. I can't say Chamalt or
Laviska Shenault.
There it is. Yep, there you go. That's their receiving core. I'm telling you, there is nothing inspiring about this team. Zero. The only feel-good story, if you're a non-Colts fan and you just happen to tune in today, which, by the way, welcome, is the idea that Trevor Lawrence has that breakout game today. And I got to be honest with you, I understand we live in a knee-jerk, hot take, first take, undisputed-like society, but people are going to feel wild in a year and a half with the Trevor Lawrence hate that's been coming out. I'm not saying this dude's going to be Peyton Manning or Andrew Luck like he was touted to be, but the idea that everybody's just ignoring the fact that receivers are dropping balls and he's throwing to Joe Smith from the Y is laughable. So let's slow the roll there. I know people are getting their shots in while they can, but it is wild to me. Again, I'm not saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but let's slow the roll on all the Trevor Lawrence smearing. He can't be something nice. And again, to clarify that, I like Notre Dame. All right, Trevor Lawrence has been a thorn in my side for the last 3 years. So there's no fanhood here blinding me that I'm like a Trevor Lawrence fanboy or something like that. I'm just saying we need to calm down the expectations here. Like all of a sudden it's, this guy, biggest bust ever. What are we doing? Look at this roster. Look at their offensive line in general. Watch him like try to make a play happen. There's no time whatsoever. He's got, like I said, just people from the Y trying to throw it to. It's been nuts. So not every situation is perfect. And I just think you need to calm down, or who knows, maybe he doesn't work out in Jacksonville, and somebody ends up trading for him and things work out. But the idea that he's just a massive bust is crazy to me. And it's a microcosm of our unable to just stop and smell the roses for a second society. I digress. Colts, Jags, that's the only way you're losing this ball game. I suppose if you're wanting to add a third option to this small list that I've suddenly grown just a tad, is if the Colts do not, everybody, say it with me, run the damn ball. If it is suddenly a day, and I've seen this in a couple comments on Twitter, we need to get Carson, we need to get him confident for the playoffs. We need to give him plenty of passes today. No, you do not. I get it. I understand psychologically that confidence is a real thing. I do. I understand. Get in the dance first. Get your ticket punched first. I do not need to see 40 passes from Carson Wentz to get his confidence right. Am I saying run the ball 90% of the time? Yes, I am. I am saying that. I don't want to see any passes unless they are perfectly scripted passes that even Trevor Lawrence could complete. Oh, see, we've come full circle. I just don't need to see it. Get confident in the practice reps that you receive with first team in the lead up to your potential playoff game. I don't need to see it right now. I need to see Jonathan Taylor all day, every day, and particularly today on Sunday. That's it. That's all you need to see. This Jags defense is middling against the run. They are, numerically speaking, statistically speaking, average to middle of the pack against the pass. I'm not saying that's necessarily going to matter, but play to your strengths. Run the ball. That's not asking a lot. And after last week, which, by the way, I don't remember what show it was, but I heard somebody say on the station this week, something to the effect of Carson Wentz is doomed to always get the blame and never get the credit. And I want to clarify this. I think that's true to an extent, but you know who deserves the credit for that win in Arizona? Carson Wentz. And we said that on this very show. So I want to clarify that within the confines of the Way Too Early pregame show. We are going to give credit to Wentz when he earns it. And he deserved it in the Arizona game. Do you know where he did not deserve credit for the win? Last week against the Raiders. It was one of those games that I have been trying to warn you people about throughout this whole season. There is going to come a moment where the game is going to rely on Carson Wentz's hands. You know how I feel about it. Not great. Not saying it's impossible, but I don't feel as good as I would with list me a quarterback in the league. There's at least 10 to 12 names that I'd probably tell you I feel better about being under center. I understand it's easy to perceive that as a shot. No, he doesn't like the Colts, whatever. No, it's not. I just need to see it more from Carson Wentz. I had been joking / being halfway serious about the idea of Carson Wentz coming here since middle of the season last year when rumors were starting to bubble a little bit. Like the idea they could make that move because Wentz was struggling and the connection to Frank Reich. I want him to do well. I want him to get back to the level he was in 2017. Whether that's actually possible, I don't know, but I want him to get back to that level or close to it. He has to prove it. That's life in the NFL. That's life at the most important position in football. So yeah, Maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I am. But that is the heaviness of the head that wears that crown. He's going to be unfairly criticized within the margins, but those that follow it closely enough will know the difference between when it's time to celebrate him and when it's time to either tear him down or kind of go, whew, and wipe your brow and be thankful that other things worked out for you. Today doesn't need to be one of those, whew, days. Doesn't need to happen. I've done that twice now because I think Eddie's probably going to drop that as a sounder. Want to make sure he had it good enough both times. But today does not need to be one of those days. All it needs to be is the Jonathan Taylor show. To a point where I don't even know what the over-under is for his yardage. Haven't gotten to that point in the show yet. But give me the over. Give me the over on Jonathan Taylor, rush yardage, almost regardless of what it is. Do you have it?
I got to find it. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, you heard your mic. I was like, all right. He's ready to go. Did you have something else to add on that whole?
No, I had it on because I was getting ready to tell you, but then the service that I use for like props and whatever doesn't have it up.
It's all right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the YouTube chat. Go to youtube.com if you'd like to engage with fellow members of the chat. Search the Way Too Early pregame show. Give us a watch.
115.5.
Take that to the bank. Take it to the bank and be thankful that any Christmas presents that you haven't paid off yet on a credit card, you can clear that out. Or any future presents you want to gain, you can go ahead and do that.
He had 116 earlier this season against Jacksonville, and you can't forget he had that monster 253 last year to end it against Jacksonville as well.
This is your put-away game, folks. This is the game where you remember what you were good at and where you remember, yeah, this is a playoff team. I've been wildly impressed with this Colts unit as the season has gone on. I have been. I had them, blindly going through the regular season at the start of the year, just before week 1. I had them 8-9. I thought there would be plenty of games for them to slip up, including that New England game. Didn't go that way, and I'm glad it didn't. Because playoff football is a beautiful thing. And it's a proud franchise that deserves to be enjoying what so many fans across the league are able to do, which is football in the winter, football in January. How long is that run going to go? Depends on who they draw in the first round. But regardless of who they draw, your major objective is getting into the dance, and that revolves around Jonathan Taylor all night long. It's all I need. There are some times where I wish you could just, this is very stupid of me, where you could just, and I'm talking to Eddie as well as the audience, you could just think of something, think of something as a hotkey and just press it. Like little all night long would be beautiful right there just to be able to play. But nevertheless, what are you going to do? So that's my major keys for today. The other key, which would be very helpful and go a long way, is the pass rush can get home to Trevor Lawrence. That doesn't need to be perfect to be able to win this game, but you talk about confidence being built. Those up front in the trenches, that's going to be necessary for the Colts to be successful in the postseason. There's too many good quarterbacks in the conference for you to not be able to get home, particularly with 4. So we will see how that ends up unfolding for Indianapolis, but I need plenty of Kwity Paye throughout the day today. I just do. And again, that's not just for today, but that is moving forward for the push to the playoffs. I don't care if you wind up drawing Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow. Is Josh Allen in the cards for the first round? I know we're going to talk about that later in the show, but is that... Well, I see you have seating up there. What is the... And no one else in the audience can see this, but Eddie has on the whiteboard a list of percentages by a number of different teams. The last column, that last row, is that potential opponents. All right, so the most likely team is the Bills. Wow. That's where we're at now. So Bills, Colts, a 47% chance of happening per EddieGarrison.com. It's not an actual website, I don't think. Is it? Do you have it locked up for your broadcasting stuff?
I do.
EddieGarrison.com. There you go. 22% chance, my Chiefs. 18% chance, the Bungles. Well, they've kind of erased that name after demolishing Kansas City a week ago. Jamar Chase still running down the sideline, mossing folks in my mind. Except he won me a fantasy football championship, so it's okay. Let it slide. Literally, for those of you that had Jamar Chase, you won your championship. Like, unless you screwed up massively, which I almost did. Not my fault. Just had too many injuries. I scored 142 points and he had 68 of them. So that's where we were a week ago. But anyway, by the way, if that's the matchup, if it's Colts-Bengals, watch yourself and pray for your corners. Hide your kids, hide your corners, because T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and Jamar Chase are coming for you.
I think we said the same thing when the Buccaneers were coming to town, because you had Chris Godwin and you had Mike Evans and Rob Gronkowski. It's more of the tight ends for me that concerned me. C.J. Uzomah for Cincinnati, that anything else, because the corners have actually played fairly decent all season long, especially Rock Ya-Sin.
I want to be clear to you. I say this acknowledging that, but also because numerically, statistically, Kansas City's corners also played really well throughout the whole year. It did not matter. So that's a cautious warning. That's a good point. Tight ends have definitely been the bigger bugaboo for the Colts. But if it's Bengals, good God. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's not. The Bengals are beatable. You can make the argument any team in the AFC is beatable, right? Oh, that's pretty easy to say, right? Because everybody's lost. Yeah, I get that. But I mean, each of these teams has flaws in it, even Kansas City. There are beatable aspects of every one of these teams. And that is why I get why some people are saying, Super Bowl, Colts are going. I get it. I do. But there's also strengths to all of these teams. And for a number of the top-sided teams, top of the list teams, those strengths outweigh the weaknesses. The Colts could make the argument some of those weaknesses are bigger than others. But at the end of the day, two things you'd like to have going into the postseason: solid defense, great running game. Colts have both those. So you're giving yourself a chance regardless of how things shake out. It all starts, though, today in Jacksonville. Because if you lose to the fans dressed in clown suits, and this season suddenly becomes a clown show, heads have to roll. I don't call for that. I guess I kind of am there, but I'm not like calling for it regularly. I'm not wanting to see people be fired. I do not see how you bring back at least Frank Reich if they lose to Jacksonville today, in what would be arguably the worst loss in franchise history. Worst loss, I'd say probably the last 10 years, 15 years at least. So I just don't see how you do it. And you can, I suppose, but it's going to be a long off season. Jim Irsay, if he doesn't already, better turn off the mentions, because Twitter account's going to be buzzing if they somehow lose to Jacksonville. But again, like I've said, it's not happening. It would have to be, like, imagine how bad you felt the Colts played last week, because it was all over Twitter. As a Colts fan, take that feeling and magnify it by 50. That is the feeling you have if they struggle against Jacksonville. And sure, maybe it gets elated and removed if they win. Sure, it does. You're going to the playoffs. But what you need to have today to rest everybody, at least for this week, is a dominant victory. And while I'm not betting big-time money on this personally, I have the Colts winning by 20 in the fan scores that we put out. Now, it's not quite 39 or whatever Kevin Bowen has. The 42-3, he has something wild. He has the Jaguars only scoring 3 points, which, not that I can't see that being done. I could, but it's something crazy. I think it's 42-3.
You are correct.
Yeah. So I have a mere 20. Kevin Bowen has a 39-point blowout, which, again, I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just shout out to him. Because that's a statement win right there.
I mean, they just gave up 50 last week to New England.
No, I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility. I'm just thinking, like, he's the only one that did it. Of the whole crew, no one had the Jaguars putting up just a field goal. Would it shock me? No. Is that the kind of win that you want as a Colts fan? Absolutely. That's where you really feel confident about this team is turning the right direction. But again, take care of business, put your feet up, and enjoy red zone. And see where your seating lines up. Even though you're not going to know an official answer, potentially, until
11
Raiders
o'clock,
Chargers.
yeah.
So, but still, enjoy it. Enjoy this Sunday, Week 18 in the NFL, which, by the way, I know that this impacts Colts fans because you got to get into the postseason first, but I think you'd still be in had we played 17 games, virtue of the three-way tie of best record in the AFC, which is wild. Again, I can't get over that. So, Eddie, to clarify this, had the season ended last week, and I know we got a break. If the season ended last week, the Colts would be in over the Raiders, even though they beat the Raiders head-to-head.
Yep, because there's a three-way tie. Colts don't play the Chargers, so then the de facto factor into this is your record within your conference, and the Colts have the best record within the AFC in comparison to the Raiders and the Chargers.
Can you imagine? So I assume going into that game last week, Colts were in either way. If there was no Week 18, the storyline would have been meaningless game for either team because they can't get in.
Yep.
Unless the Chargers would have lost, I guess.
Yes.
So the Chargers lost
Vegas,
last week. So I guess there was still some implications there. But the Colts still would have gotten in because they would have a better record than the Chargers. There would be no tie. So, anyway, my point is, and there's talk about having an 18th game down the line. That's the next proposal by the owners to the players. I got to be honest, folks, I didn't need it. I've seen this around Twitter. The only thing you did, Eddie just looked at the clock, so I know that he knows I need to get out of here. The only thing you did is move the preseason, the last game of the preseason you took away, you moved it to the end of the year. That's all you did for a lot of these teams. We have no business other than creating more money, which I get the opportunity for what it is, and risking more injury to players by adding this game. It's unnecessary to the umpteenth degree. More on that in a minute. Colts audio. Thank you, Siri. I didn't really summon you, but that's fine. Colts audio from Carson Wentz, Frank Reich, and company when we come back. A trip around the National Football League. A fair and totally unbiased beer bet. Freddie Garrison to take on me this week. Just kidding. It's not going to be that. It's going to be very one-sided. That and more upcoming after this on the Way Too Early pregame show. 93.5, 107.5, The Fan. Whew. And wipe your brow.
Dan versus Fan, sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings app. Use code 1075FAN to get in on all the action.
Wealth isn't simply about money. It's more than just the numbers in your portfolio or your bank account. Wealth is all the everyday things that money enables you to do, the goals you're after, things you want to accomplish, and the life you want to lead. So how do you get there? Tune in this weekend for Everyday Wealth with Soledad O'Brien and Gene Chatsky, presented by Edelman Financial Engines. Each week, award-winning journalist Soledad O'Brien and personal finance expert Gene Chatsky will explore how our financial decisions shape our everyday lives. They'll be joined by Edelman Financial Engine's wealth planners and other guests to demystify challenges like tax-efficient investing, retirement planning, and more. They'll share knowledge and tools to manage your finances today and build wealth for tomorrow. Join the conversation. Everyday Wealth airs each weekend and will be available on major podcast platforms. For airtimes, visit everydaywealth.com.
This is important news if you have unfiled tax returns. The IRS is shifting gears and ramping up investigations on non-filers this year. If you fail to file your tax returns for a year or more, or you owe back taxes, now's the time to call Optima Tax Relief before the IRS fines you. Optima is America's #1 most trusted tax resolution firm, specializing in helping individuals, families, and businesses get right with the IRS. They're experts with the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, a powerful new program that can help make resolving tax issues easier. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima's award-winning team has helped thousands of people protect their paychecks, bank accounts, homes, and businesses by putting their tax problems to rest, resolving over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-970-3199. That's 800-970-3199. 800-970-3199.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
So I have a mouse. No big deal.
Actually, mice contaminate food and spread disease.
Bed bugs? In my suitcase? No, our hotel was spotless.
Actually, bed bugs like any place there's people and cause itchy red welts.
So I saw a cockroach. Okay, 3. It's no emergency.
Actually, cockroaches can trigger asthma and spread disease. Household pests are a health threat. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association and the CDC.
I'm a veteran. My victory was admitting I had PTSD and getting help.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I no longer see it as a weakness, but as a sign of strength. I call it post-traumatic growth.
DAV provides a lifetime of support, helping veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I am a veteran. I lost both legs in Vietnam.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans so they can reach victories great and small.
My victory was getting my benefits and a good education.
I'm a veteran. When I got out, I felt like nowhere was safe. My victory was finding the help I needed.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
Thanks to DAV, now I feel like I'm human again.
Help support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
The word radio. You are listening to a radio. Your cell phone is a radio. The wireless devices you have are all radios. Radio is all around you every day. And who were the first people to experiment with radio? Who had these mobile phones and digital wireless before you even heard of them? Amateur radio operators. Hams used these long before the public. And you should see the future they are experimenting with now. Ham radio people love radio.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. Whether you want to learn Spanish for future travel plans, French to connect with extended family, or maybe German to land a new job, Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you'll actually use. All you need is 15 minutes a day, and you'll be on your way to confidently speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel is designed by real language experts using a modern conversation-based technique that makes learning fun, engaging, and best of all, memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then sentences gradually get more complex. Soon you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. And with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll be sure to learn what matters most to you. Babbel, language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but you grew up and things changed. Well, it's time to put it back on your list. Innovative things are happening in teaching today, and you can be a part of it.
Make more. Teach. Visit teach.org. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
I asked what kind of family she wanted. She said, a family like yours.
Learn more about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
With an easy refinance, our clients, on average, save over $350 a month. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
NMLS number 1326241.
Join us on The Fan and listen to Jason Hammer on You Bet with Bet Rivers, 7 to 8 p.m. on Thursdays, where you can get all the betting advice you would ever need.
Hey, wake up. We're talking football. It's the Way Too Early pregame show on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Welcome back to the Way Too Early pregame show. I'm your host, Jimmy Cook. Give me a follow on Twitter, @TheJCook. Eddie Garrison behind the ones and twos. Follow him @EddieGarrison_. Before we get to Colts audio, love it when a beer bet comes together early in the morning. Eddie Garrison, would you like what's behind door number 1? Or would you like what's behind door number 2?
See, this isn't fair.
I know it's not.
Not fair at all.
I'll have the puppet master today.
Well, yeah, because I know whatever I tell you, you're going to go with the opposite of what's behind each door.
Just give me a door.
See, it's not fair.
Just give me a door.
It's not fair.
I just need you to choose a door.
If you're giving me an option,
you're automatically getting door number 1.
No,
if you don't choose a
I'll
door.
take door number 2. I'll take door number 1.
Door number 1. All right. Congratulations, Eddie Garrison. I was giving you the Raiders either way, just for the record. I was never giving you the Lions. Chargers, Raiders tonight. Straight up bet. We're throwing out the points. We're just going straight up. Eddie gets
on the money line.
I get the Chargers.
Straight on the money line. I like it.
I am going down with the ship. Told you all year. I think Justin Herbert is one of the... I mean, he's up there, right? He's not better than Mahomes. He's not better than Rodgers. But he is top 7 quarterback in the NFL. Love Justin Herbert. Phenomenal. Would love to build a team around Justin Herbert if I could.
You can. On Madden.
There you go. R.I.P. That we don't have time to talk about that today, and that's not imperative to our structure today for the show. But John Madden impacted so many different people in the game of football, myself included, and so many people my age have stories like this. Learning the game of football and it being easy to learn as a sport, even though it's incredibly complex to learn, and they have to give out pamphlets to those across the pond when they go over to England to play these games. Madden helps you learn the game of football to a way that is undervalued by a lot of people if you're not in the know of video games and that kind of thing. So that's just one thing. Then on top of that, it's a broadcaster. I am going to do one, but I'm not going to sit here and do a bunch of booms. Like I'm not going to do that all day. Everybody else has done that. I don't have a telestrator to kind of give an ode to Madden. But, the All Madden documentary, just search All Madden on Google, you'll find it, was very well done. That wasn't done like as an in memoriam because he's featured in all of it. He's interviewed still before his passing, but it's a very great piece. And if you're of the older crowd, you'll really appreciate the nostalgia of it. Everything from the Madden bus to Madden's ads to him being the only broadcaster in NFL history to serve for all 4 networks. He was on ABC, NBC, Fox, and
ESPN.
ESPN, there we go. Yep. So, I mean, give a tip of the cap to the man because he lived 3 different major business ventures in terms of being all Madden, as it were. And that was as a broadcaster, as a coach, and that was as a man in the video game industry. So, rest in peace, that man, and more importantly, for Eddie's sake, you hope that the only man, I shouldn't say the only man, but the man that led to the Super Bowl, hopefully his good graces are with Las Vegas today. Even though, Eddie, bonus point, if I was to tell you a couple years ago, within the last 2 years, in fact, that John Madden did an interview, and he was asked which quarterback that he would love to coach in today's NFL, who did he say?
Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater? Come on. Why?
Just a random name that I could think of. That's a starting quarterback.
Patrick Mahomes.
I figured that was where you were going.
I figured you did as well, but I appreciate you throwing out a different guess. Let's get to Colts audio. Let's go to Carson Wentz talking about the pressure with a must win. This was from last week or from earlier in the week, so it's a must-win next week. But quarterback Carson Wentz going over that must-win factor.
We feel like there's been pressure every week, with the slow start. It's just kind of felt like it's been playoff football for a long time for us. And so obviously today we didn't get it done, but we're excited for the opportunity to win, get in, and then, we got to win this one. First and foremost, we got to regroup from this one. Didn't play our best ball. Hopefully put our best performance out there next week and then see what happens.
Yeah, everything about that's true. Those struggles from an early start like that will build character around a team, make it feel like every game is a must-win. I get that. definitely different pressure here because no tomorrow. Now, in fairness, and we even have ads on the station that are talking about it being win or go home. That's simple. Well, it's not that simple because there is still a scenario where the Colts lose today and they still get in. And they need like 3 or 4 things to break their way for it to happen, but it still exists out there. Again, that's not happening. Like, I've told you this.
The only way for them to get in is if they win.
Maybe I ran the simulator wrong.
Because if Baltimore wins, then Baltimore would have the head-to-head over the Colts.
Hold on. We should have talked about this during the break. Now, I'm going to have to tell the radio audience and the podcast audience we were going to the Colts make playoffs on the New York Times. Actually, I'm going to continue talking here for a second. We're going to go to some audio first while I confirm that. Make sure that I am crazy and I did the simulation wrong, which is very possible. Let's go to Coach Frank Reich. Coach Reich talking about his biggest concern with the Indianapolis Colts after that loss to
I really don't have any hesitation or concern. I think when you look over the body of work and if you look at the trend, right, if you look at the graph and the trend, it's been going up for a long time. And then, when you zoom out, you wouldn't even notice this little blip that was a negative yesterday. It was a negative. There's nobody's trying to avoid that. But over the course of the season, it's just a little blip with the trend going up. We still have everything in front of us. If we can get back on track.
Got to get back on track and get a bounce back victory. And that saves your season, right? You're going to the postseason. However, Jay Cook was right.
You like that? You like that?
There is a scenario where the Colts lose today and they could still get in the postseason. It's a 10% chance, roughly, give or take. And actually, that math's probably wrong, but there is a chance. So ignore the percentage. If the Colts lose, the Ravens have to beat the Steelers, the Dolphins have to beat the Patriots, and the Raiders have to beat the Chargers. If that happens,
how does that work?
I don't know. I just ran the simulation.
That doesn't make any sense because they lost to both.
I don't know.
The Raiders.
I don't know.
Because the Colts and the Ravens would have the same record, and the Ravens have the head-to-head.
I don't know because are the Ravens in right now?
No, they're 8-8.
That's just It's no longer my fault. It's not. It's out of my hands now. It is the New York Times model.
I guess that would make.
If the Jaguars beat the Colts, then
that would make sense because they would need a third team to be 9-8 since they have a better record than.
Yep. So it's a small percentage chance, but it still exists. Colts can still get in with a loss. But like I mentioned, we're not worried about that because it's not happening. This is not some hocus pocus. I legitimately see any Marvel fans in here. Any MCU fans?
Are you asking me?
Just anybody. Talking to the YouTube chat. But I guess in here is vague. If you are and spoiler alert, it's been out for 3 years, so I don't feel bad for you anymore. 2 years, I suppose. In order for, can't believe I'm doing this, but here we are. In order for the Avengers to defeat Thanos, Dr. Strange runs through the simulations. And they asked how many he did, and it was like 1 million, some wild-ass number. Are there anywhere we win? One. Just one. And that's pretty much where the Jaguars are at. They need Avengers-level magic for them to get done what needs to get done for a victory today. Or the Colts completely botch the whole thing, and I don't know. Trevor Lawrence has that career day. Which I get it. I know that's in the back of Colts fans' mind. Eddie, would that be just so Colts if Trevor Lawrence goes off for his best day as a starter?
Would not surprise me one bit.
Yeah, see, there you go. And he's not alone in that. I know there's a large portion of the fan base that feels that way. So, and I don't blame you. I would too. Because that is the state right now. Not the full state of the franchise, but the Colts aren't quite to the level that, let's say, the Chiefs were or that the Browns are, where you're just expecting the other shoe to drop at any time. Or the Bengals are, really. We talked about this. I don't know if we talked about this a week ago. We talked about it on the Dan Dockett show last week. The Bengals haven't won a playoff game since the 90s. Like, that is a franchise that continues to wait for the other shoe to drop left and right. Them and the Lions. I think the Texans are still in there, too. I don't think the Texans have... We'll double check that, but I don't think the Texans have won a playoff game as a franchise, actually, now that I think about it. I think they're back there to the Oiler days since they've got a playoff W under their belt.
2012.
They did get a win then?
Yeah, they beat the Raiders.
Okay.
In the wild card.
So that ended that drama then. All right, so it's not the Texans anymore. The Chiefs got off that list in 2016 with the winner of the Texans. So it's just the Bengals and the Lions at the real bottom of the barrel that have gone. For teams that have won a playoff game, you have to have at least won one once and are now searching for their next one. Longest drought in between there is the Lions and the Bengals.
I mean, how could you forget that? They had to play the Chiefs. That year.
In 2012?
2019.
You said 2012, though.
Oh, that's what I meant. I meant 2019. Sorry.
Okay. Yes, I do remember that then. Yeah. That
2012 was their most recent prior to 2019.
Okay. So they have 2 wins. All right. So there you go. So Texans, a little better than I thought. But point remains, they were on that list for a while because they hadn't had a win as a franchise. 0-2, right? Their first season, 0-2, 0-3, if my math's right on that. About 99% certain on that. So, yeah, I mean, the Texans are above that water, but the Bengals still are, and the Lions still are. Both fan bases that, to be honest with you, well, I would say have it far worse than the Colts historically, but I quietly, not defensively, from an offensive standpoint, though, I'd rather have Joe Burrow. I'd rather have the weapons.
100%.
I'd rather have the weapons that the Bengals do. And honestly, you talked about it, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, Eddie, or we did. Oh, well, who would you rather have? X quarterback plus X running back versus Carson Wentz versus Jonathan Taylor plus Jonathan Taylor. Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon win that battle. Sorry to say that. Mixon is comparable. I think I'd rather have Taylor still. Joe Mixon's comparable, though. A dominant running back in today's NFL. But anyway, that's more of a preview for what occurs should they draw the Bengals. Which, like I said earlier in the show, be careful what you wish for. And I'm not just saying that for one game. I mean it. When the Bengals are on, they have arguably the best receiving core in the National Football League. Tyler Boyd was, at least in fantasy terms, a household name 2 years ago. You now almost forget he's in the league, and he's the third option at receiver. So I just be careful. There's not really any good wishes to have. I guess if you're still worried about the Buffalo loss last year, I would go Bengals, Bills, Chiefs in that order of teams I'd like to see. If you're not worried about the Buffalo loss, you're not worried about going to Buffalo, it's Bills, Bengals, Chiefs in that order for me. Of the three most likely teams
I think it's Bengals, Chiefs, Bills.
You'd rather see Kansas City before Buffalo?
100%.
Wow.
With the way Denver just ran it down their throat last night, 100%.
All right. I mean, the Bills couldn't stop Jonathan Taylor to save their life either.
I think that would be a fluke game. I think they would be better prepared second time around. But that's just my opinion.
All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna call you crazy for that. I mean, I will call you slightly crazy, but I respect the opinion and the take nonetheless. But yeah, there's bias there for me too, but I would not want to go to Kansas City.
And Josh Allen has played way, way, way better than when the Colts first played him.
Fair. I would also argue quietly that Patrick Mahomes has had one of the best second halves of any quarterback in the league this year, but that's a story for another day. That matchup happens, by the way, Chiefs-Colts, if the Bills win today and if the Raiders beat the Chargers. So that's going to be a fun way too early pregame show.
And
also,
if Tennessee doesn't lose to Houston, because that would move Kansas City up to the one spot.
That is true, yeah. That's damn. Go Texans, by the way, baby. Let's go. Put on those Texans hats.
Oh, I'm sure, because Andy Reid, after a bye.
After the bye, baby. Big red. Yes, Eddie. Yes. I love it. Well done. We'll step away. We come back. Listen to some more Colts audio, maybe. I might lie to you there. I went pretty long on that segment. That's my bad. But worst case, top of the hour. Some more audio. Some bets from around the National Football League. As well as audio from the National Football League on top of that. Way too early pregame show. I'm Jimmy Cook. Back in a flash on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Join the Indianapolis Donato's Pep Rally. Choose the 150 pepperoni pizza or spicy pepperoni for just $1 more than a large one topping. Order at Donatos.com. Text and delivery extra.
Want the same internet but more privacy? DuckDuckGo's got you covered. They help millions of people like you get privacy online without any trade-offs. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
PropSwap is where America buys and sells sports bets. The College National Championship is finally here, right here in Indianapolis, and PropSwappers are cashing in. Like Jesse from New York, who sold his 100-1 Michigan college football ticket for $1,800 on PropSwap. Jesse locked in his profit when he turned in that $120 bet into $1,800. The buyer got great odds, and the seller made 15 times his bet. PropSwap has thousands of buyers and sellers across the country, so you'll always find the best odds and collect the most money for your bets. The Alabama-Georgia showdown is Monday night. Hurry and download the free PropSwap app today. PropSwap has exclusive, fantastic features like filtering listed tickets based on best value, a free activity feed to stay in the know with all the big sales and red-hot tickets for sale, and a first deposit cash match. Use promo code ODDS on your first deposit, and PropSwap will match your deposit up to $500. Join the real sports bettors on PropSwap, where America buys and sells sports bets.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
The graphics are so real on this video game console I bought with the savings from switching to Progressive 10 years ago. I can't tell what's real and what's the game, which I think is what people want, in the future, which it is currently.
So switch to Progressive and save big, because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
This is Norm.
Hi?
He lives with anxiety, but with the help of the new Normal Maker, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With just a swipe of your finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo.
How are you doing?
Or normal.
How's this?
The Normal Maker, new from Be Normal.
This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with a mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Talk to someone you trust. Learn more at bringchangetomind.org.
I am a veteran. I spent 2 years alone and homeless.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory was finding the support to get back on my feet.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran. When I got out, I felt like nowhere was safe.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory was finding the help I needed. Thanks to DAV, now I feel like I'm human again.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Don't let sudden changes in the weather catch you off guard. You need a NOAA weather radio. A weather radio will alert you whenever weather conditions become hazardous. Whether it's snow and ice, flooding, or tornadoes, you can get up-to-the-minute emergency weather information where and when you need it. Most electronics websites and stores sell weather radios in a variety of models and prices. A NOAA weather radio should be part of everyone's emergency plan and kit. Be prepared. Visit getprepared.in.gov for more information.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C, but most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains. Co-owner Beth Robazzini says now is the best time to plan for winter.
Supply chains are unpredictable, and with labor shortages, everything is just a little bit uncertain. We have furnaces and air conditioners in stock now. We have the people to install them now. With our special financing, there's no reason to wait.
Financing with approved credit? Ask for details at bigbblacktrucks.com. B&W is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Join the Indianapolis Donato's Pep Rally. Choose the 150 pepperoni pizza or spicy pepperoni for just $1 more than a large one topping. Order at donatos.com. Text and delivery extra.
It's never too early for football.
Yeah, it's too early.
It's the Way Too Early pregame show on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Welcome back. Way Too Early pregame show. Naturally, as happens in that middle segment, sometimes went a tiny bit long. Shout out to Brock Filburn, Indy Jarhead, Dave Nitzel to name a few. Listening in on the YouTube chat, Joe to the C. Appreciate y'all joining us and being a part of the action on the Way Too Early pregame show. We're going to step away. When we come back, some more Colts audio and a trip around the National Football League in Week 18 in the NFL. I'm Jimmy Cook, Eddie Garrison behind the ones and twos. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll have that and more, including some bets for you in Week 18 here on the Way Too Early pregame show. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Tired of being tracked online? DuckDuckGo can help. They help millions of people like you take control of their personal information online. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
The College Football Championship is here, and to celebrate, FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking new customers up with 30-1 enhanced odds on either team to win. That means you can bet $5 to win $150 on either team to win it all. We've got an SEC showdown between Georgia and Alabama. I like the Bulldogs and their ferocious defense to shut down the Crimson Tide. All you have to do is sign up at FanDuel Sportsbook using promo code MARK and make a deposit to claim your 30-1 enhanced odds. There's no better place to bet the College Football Championship than on America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel's app is safe, secure, and easy to use. I love the daily promotions and odds boosts, and when you win, you get your winnings in as little as 2 hours. So don't miss your chance to win $150 off a $5 bet on the College Football Championship. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app or head to sportsbook.fanduel.com and sign up using promo code MARK to get 30-1 odds on either team to win. That's promo code MARK, M-A-R-C. 21 and over and present in Indiana. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $150. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Also, let Mark Patrick Hypnosis destroy unwanted food cravings and lose the weight. Seminars Thursday, January 20th at the Holiday Inn in Carmel. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. And Saturday, January 22nd at the La Quinta Inn and Suites Hotel in Indianapolis. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 to 4 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before seminar.
Got some New Year's resolutions? More walks in nature? Less binge watching? That's good. But what about your wealth? Want to take it to the next level? Call Edelman Financial Engines at 833-PLAN-EFE for a free retirement review and financial plan. We'll take a fresh look at your finances to see where you are, where you want to go, and how you can get there. You've worked hard to prepare for your future. Make your money go further. You'll partner with an experienced planner who will incorporate your taxes, insurance, and estate planning needs to help build a portfolio based on her strategic approach to investing. So if you're wondering, what am I missing? What else can I do to help protect my wealth, my family, and my future? Call 833-PLAN-EFE by Tuesday at 10 p.m. to take advantage of this limited time offer. This is an $800 value. Yours free. So call 833-PLAN-EFE or visit EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. That's EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. Let's make your financial resolutions reality.
It's just alcohol. Everybody drinks. You may have already heard this statement from your teen. I'm Tammy Silverman with Indiana Youth Institute. Alcohol is a substance most commonly abused by teens. Survey data shows that 2 in 10 Indiana high school students reported drinking in the past month, and more than half of Hoosier teens say it would be easy to get alcohol. How do you talk with your teen about alcohol use, especially if they see peers or adults drinking? First, understand that your child may point out contradictions in our society's views on alcohol. It's okay to acknowledge those facts. Talk with your teen about the many risks of alcohol use. During your conversation, you can both validate their views and uphold your family values. You are the first line of defense against alcohol abuse, so don't be afraid to talk to your teen. What you say has a big influence on their decision to drink or not. This Kids Count Minute is a message from Indiana Youth Institute. For more parent tips, visit IYI.org.
Kids count on you.
It's important to buckle up your kids.
I know.
Sometimes car seats can be complicated.
I know.
And if your child's in the wrong seat and you get into a crash,
I know.
it could lead to a serious injury.
I know.
So you're 100% sure you have the right car seat for your child's age and size?
I don't know.
Don't think you know. Know you know. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Make sure you have the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I am a veteran. I lost both legs in Vietnam.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory was getting my benefits and a good education.
DAV helps veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran. I didn't want to admit it, but I have PTSD.
So veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory was finding help and learning that I wasn't alone.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. There's never been a better time for a cash-out refinance. Thehomeloanexpert.com.
NMLS number 1326241.
Dan versus Fan, sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings app. Use code 1075FAN to get in on all the action.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
It's 7 a.m. Grab your coffee and...
Is that bacon?
No, it's football. It's the Way Too Early pregame show with your host, Jimmy Cook.
Good morning, Indianapolis. Welcome to the final hour of the Way Too Early pregame show. I'm your host, Jimmy Cook. Behind those ones and twos, producer extraordinaire, Eddie Garrison. Happy week 18 to you. Colts, Jags. A trip to the postseason on the line. Win and you're in for Indianapolis. Lose and pray for a couple scenarios to shake out, because it is not a win or go home scenario, as we talked about earlier in the show. You can still technically get in if a couple things break your way. But let's not be just hoping and praying that that's the reason they get in. Let's hope there's a little bit more benefits to it for the Colts, and that's simply the benefit of being able to relax and enjoy the rest of week 18, wondering where seeding unfolds. Talked about it in that first hour. There's no reason the Colts lose this game, aside from biblical proportions. Sounds a tad extreme, but you need Trevor Lawrence to have a career day, which, as we've talked about, that's a fear for the Colts fans in the back of their mind. Because, of course, it would happen to us, says the Colts fan, if Trevor Lawrence has that career day. Or if the Colts decide not to utilize Jonathan Taylor enough today, or he gets hurt from first play from scrimmage. That's about it. Outside of those random anomalies, Colts should take care of business. I have them winning by 20. So there you go. Listen to a little bit more Colts audio before we take our trip around the National Football League. Want to hear from Carson Wentz again. And I want to get his thoughts. And Eddie, I don't believe I've used this one already. If I have, let me know. I didn't bring my pen. On why his game has been up and down.
So it is a week-by-week thing. It's something that obviously we want it to be dynamic and elite every single week. And in some weeks it is, some weeks it's not. And so there's different little things kind of every week. And for us as an offense, we definitely look long and hard at that as, hey, we need to get back to this dynamic offense with our, obviously our run game is our identity and what we do, but we got to be dynamic off of that. And so, I feel like we've missed some things there. I've missed some things, got to be better there.
That's important to acknowledge it. I've never been doubtful that Carson wasn't aware of it. He has to be better, even though they're a run-first team. You want to beat somebody in the playoffs? You want to beat Buffalo or Kansas City or Cincinnati? You have to be able to do both. Can't just be a running first team. Carson's going to have to do his share. Like he did, again, some want to point and say, oh, no one gives credit to Carson, like he did against the Cardinals. That's the type of game you need from Carson Wentz. The situations will call for it. It's all but certain that will be called upon the Colts for Carson Wentz to make a big play at some point. Can he do it? That is going to be the difference between an early first-round exit and maybe even a run to the AFC Championship game. We'll see. You can go further than that if you want as a Colts fan, but I'm keeping it within the realm of reason. I do not think this team's going to the Super Bowl. I think there's better teams in the conference. Do they have a chance? Yes. Just my opinion. That's what I'm here for. But in order to even get that opportunity, get that bite at the apple, you have to take care of business today. Let's get more from Carson Wentz, and this a kind of a personal evaluation of himself. Again, I don't imagine his answer to the following. Carson Wentz, and if he thinks he could take over a game in the playoffs. I do not imagine Carson Wentz is going to say, no, I don't. To be honest with you, I think that I have no chance of being able to do that. We are screwed.
Yeah, I think we around here, myself, this whole offense, coaches, receivers, O-line, everybody, I think we know really from the onset of the season that we're going to be able to win ball games in a variety of ways. And, I think we strung a stretch there where we won the games by running the ball. And so that kind of became what we are. But at the same time, we believe wholeheartedly that at any point, if we need to, air it out and win in the passing game, that we can do that.
I don't know if this is right to say I admire Carson for that, but he didn't say I once in that, even though it was a question directly about him. And that's just a little thing, but I mean, that proves his head's always been in the right place. Like he's a we guy, he's a team guy.
Team over me, Jimmy. Team over me.
There you go. Very important. Very, very important. And again, I didn't expect Carson to be like, yeah, I can't do it. I needed that future line we need later in the thing, or in our hotkeys. Michael Scott walking in. It's over. We are screwed. Like I don't expect that to be Carson Wentz in that response. But you're going to need him if you're going to make a run in the postseason. Imperative that you have that. Let's go to a little bit more audio, this time from the coach in Frank Reich. I want to look at how Coach Reich addresses the struggles in Jacksonville. We have gone an hour and 7 minutes into the show without once referencing the elephant in the room or referencing the demon kind of overlooking this game, which is that the Colts have not won in Jacksonville in 8 years.
All right, before we get to this, though, can you name one of the 4 players that scored for the Colts in that game? I don't know if you looked this up or not during the week during Dan's show.
$2018, right?
2014.
2014. Oh, Jesus. My bad.
That was 7 years ago.
T.Y.
Nope. a wide receiver didn't score in the game.
Then no, I can't help you.
Ahmad Bradshaw.
Did
Kobe Fleener.
Did Luck in the end zone? He rushed one in.
Let me get to there's 2 left.
All right.
Greg Toller, pick 6. And then your final touchdown was to Dwayne Allen.
Nice. All right, so there you go. Yeah, I would never have gotten those. No chance.
No Reggie Wayne, no T.Y. Hilton.
I was going to throw Donnie Avery out there just as a shot in the dark.
Oh, Akeem Nicks. That was the last one. Akeem Nicks. That was the last one. I forgot they scored 5 that game.
So you have it. 8 years ago, I mean, not full 8 years, but basically 8 years ago to the day. Not that's wrong. 8 years ago in general. It'll be 8 years ago, I'd assume this fall or this December, depending on when they met. Was the last time that Colts got a win in Jacksonville. And that doesn't matter to me. Doesn't. It shouldn't matter to you. Don't let that ruin your Sunday. Oh, haven't won in Jacksonville in 8 years. It's a different team. That's the year they went to the AFC Championship game, or were they coming off that year? 14
would have been...
Because that was 14-15
That
season.
would have been the year they made it.
Yeah. I mean, that was an elite all-time defense. Was that Blake Bortles? Blake Bortles time?
No. Oh, you're talking about Jacksonville.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Colts. Sorry.
No. I'm pretty sure that was. 80% certain on that. So, I don't see the avenues. Do you see the avenues? I haven't gone to you a ton today in that regard. Do you see an avenue, legitimate avenue, where you're worried the Colts lose this game?
No.
Yeah. You shouldn't. There's
I almost think losing to the Raiders was like the best case scenario for them, because now you know your guys are going to be focused all week against Jacksonville. They're not going to have that week off against Jacksonville. It's like, oh, we can, dilly-dally around all week and lose focus. The next thing you know, they can't get it back.
I mean, I appreciate that. However, had they won last week, they would have been in. I've already told you I think this game is meaningless. Not for the Colts. I just mean the idea of an 18th game, 17th game, 18th week is ridiculous. This would be a week, though, where that'd be okay because you'd be resting guys anyway. So it should be a game that doesn't matter at all. Instead, it has major implications to it. Let's switch to...
You never did hear from Frank Reich, by the way.
Oh, what did I call for?
Yeah, you about him addressing the struggles in Jacksonville.
All right, let's go to that.
We talked about it this morning in the team meeting, and I don't want to overstate it, but the facts are the facts, and so I think it was important to note, and I think we got to dial in and have a great week of practice. We have a great deal of respect for this team. We know we're going to get their A game, and so we got to make sure we bring ours.
I was trying to figure out when I called for that clip and Eddie is a Emmy Award-winning producer in Eddie Garrison. Emmy Award-winning worthy producer. He hasn't won an Emmy yet. I should clarify the statement. But I was trying to figure out which of those Frank Reich clips would be the least, and they were all going to be, right? It's like me giving Eddie the beer bet earlier. What's behind door number 1, door number 2? Which one's going to have the least coach speak in it? Which should be the least generic? And they were all that. Eddie basically said what Frank Reich said in that comment about how you prepare for Jacksonville. He's not going to reveal anything. But yeah, you got to be focused.
And much like the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't think the Colts show much.
No, you don't. Yeah, you don't do it. There's not I told Eddie that. I'm not saying that. Yeah, does Jonathan Taylor, if that's Chiefs Colts, that worry me a little bit? Yeah. He's a great running back. Probably the best, one of the best in the league. Is he unbeatable? No, they're not. But I wouldn't take anything from Chiefs Broncos and think to yourself, oh, we can run all over that team. I'm not saying you can't, but if you think that Steve Spagnuolo or Andy Reid showed anything of significance yesterday, you're out of your mind. Now, Vic Fangio is also, and by the way, we haven't talked about that yet, but Vic Fangio is a very strong and solid defensive mind and had 2 really good game plans back-to-back against Kansas City. They both ended in losses. By the way, say what you will about Frank Reich, whether you're pro-Reich or anti-Reich, here's a fact for you. Vic Fangio should have been called on the phone, rather, from Broncos ownership with 6 or 7 minutes. I know he is. 6 or 7 minutes to go in that game, and called and fired after his gutless decision to kick a field goal down 7 at home as a 7-9 team that is going
was a bona
nowhere.
fide scrub. He can't play.
Exactly. In that case, he can't coach.
That is blasphemous.
It's not, though. You kick a field goal down 7 at home as a 7-9 team to make a one-score game with the ball on the 13-yard line. And you take a field goal. What are you doing? What are you playing for? If I'm a Broncos fan, like, I get it, it's been a rough year. I am baffled, and I am writing letters and tweeting and doing everything I can to Broncos ownership saying, get this man out of here. And he's going to be, by the way. He's going to be fired on Monday. No doubt about that. He is gone. I don't have the stat in front of me. I saved it last night. They are 1-10, Denver is, since he's been the head coach against the Chiefs and the Raiders. And as a whole, 4-13 against the AFC West. That's fireable on almost every count. By the way, Vic Fangio as a whole, though, I say this, I'm walking it back a little bit, seems like a very nice guy. And he's going to wind up as a defensive coordinator somewhere immediately upon his dismissal. But you can't do that. The idea you're going to get the ball back from Patrick leaving Mahomes with 4 minutes to go in a game is laughable. And you want to know what happened, kids? He never got the ball back. So, let that be a lesson learned. If it's 4th and 9, you the ball in the 13 with 4 minutes to go, I almost don't care if you have the 85 Bears. Go for it. Go for 6. Promised Eddie that rant was coming at some point today, and there it was.
I think it also depends on how the Chiefs are operating offensively. Like, are they struggling? Are they clicking? And at that point in the game, they were clicking. Like, they were moving the football. Sure, that's the trust in your defense, but, like, you would have to count for Drew Lock to go 70 yards down the field in a 2-minute offense and score a touchdown. If you're Vic Fangio, and I would not trust Drew Lock.
Repeat that. You're saying he would have to do that what? What do you mean?
So you're in the situation that Fangio played it out.
Sure.
The Broncos have to get a stop defensively.
Correct.
And assuming you do, you would have about, 2.5 minutes, 3. So you would have to rely on Drew Lock to go 70 yards down the field to score a touchdown anyway.
You still need a touchdown, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, you still need that. Yeah, but by the way, Drew Lock is okay, right? He's not great, but he's okay. Probably going to be a perennial backup, right? Vic Fangio walked out, like his last significant comment as a head coach is taking Drew Lock's corpse and rubbing it against the wall and dragging it on the way out. He was asked yesterday, what's the difference between, and he's not wrong, but man, I've never heard a coach say it like that. What is the difference between your team and the rest of the AFC West? Want to know what he said? We don't have the clips. I didn't tell Eddie to grab it. I'm paraphrasing here. Those other 3 teams have top shelf quarterbacks.
Correct. That's what he said.
An NFL coach said that about his quarterback room on the way out the door. Which I guess, whatever. Maybe you might as well get your money's worth as you're going out the door, right? That's fine. But Vic Fangio did nothing to inspire confidence or give any type of trust to Drew Lock. Maybe you made the case, well, why would you? But wild to me.
Jimmy, I think we're a little too overconfident with the Colts. We've got T-Bone 5262 in the YouTube chat. Colts are on the outside looking in at the moment, just win. And then Fundamental Bear, agree with that. People are writing this off as an easy win. Jags are coming to play, and we barely beat them at home this year.
Also, T-Bone 5262, a long-time account I'm sure he didn't make yesterday. He says, breaking news, it's cold in Indianapolis in January. Could have major events here making weather an issue. By the way, in terms of ratedness for Super Bowl efficiency and just the overall experience, Indianapolis was rated one of the top ever.
And if you look on Twitter and you look up like some of the reviews or you see some of the reviews, it's nothing but positive things. It's not like that Georgia beat writer or whatever the heck that was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tolerate that. Fundamental Bear and T-Bone. Go have a watch party, right? Go have a watch party, do a live stream. These are two people in the YouTube chat. And watch Jaguars Patriots last week. And tell me that this is, quote, a team coming to play. They are coming to get on a flight to Cancun. That is the Jaguars' mindset right now. This will not be the Jags beat the Colts. This will be the Colts beat themselves. They somehow lose this game. It would be one of the biggest upsets of the year, and it would be one of the biggest losses in franchise history. Not happening. Not happening. Rest easy. Have a beer if you're of age. And if you're not, then have a nice Coca-Cola. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the game. Because it should be a highlight fest. Jacksonville has nothing to play for but a little bit of pride, and they didn't show that against the Patriots.
And they want to lock up. They want to lock up that number one overall pick.
Exactly. They absolutely do. So, could it happen? Yes, I've outlined the 1% chance that it could happen. And that's if John Taylor gets hurt first play from scrimmage, or Trevor Lawrence has a career game that he's yet to show within the offense they have, which is very limited without their top receivers, that they are. And I apologize, T-Bone. The way you mentioned that, your initial, if you go back and read your comment, I thought you were critiquing Indianapolis. He says he's talking about everybody else outside the city's complaining. So, that's fine. I appreciate you clarifying that. Anyway, let's go around the NFL. Listen to some audio. And actually, I want one Jonathan Taylor clip, Eddie, and we'll get around the NFL in our next segment. I want to get a Jonathan Taylor shout out. We'll get two from him. First, I want to get his thoughts on breaking the franchise single season rushing record. Just another accolade here for Jonathan Taylor in what has been a breakout sophomore season. And another reason why he should be viewed as, if he isn't already by you, one of the best running backs in all of football.
It's amazing. Especially with Edge popping up on the Tron with the video. I was not expecting that, so that was really a cool thing throughout the game. Even though the midst of all the tension and the focus, it was a really nice moment during the game.
It's special. Anytime you're part of history, and I appreciate the sentiment there for him. A last thing from Jonathan Taylor. I want to get his thoughts on lessons learned from last year going into a must-win game.
Yeah, definitely being able to understand that we know the situation that we're in, but we can't deviate from the things that have been battle tested. A lot of times there are some situations where your back's against the wall, you need to pull out all of the stops, but don't shy away from the things that are battle tested, things that have worked all year with your preparation and as well as your mentality heading into the game. That's something that I definitely need to continue to pull from last year.
And that's the good thing about having continuity on the roster. I know it's not the most important position, being quarterback, since this is Wentz's first season at the helm, but it's good to be able to have that learning from last year to put you in a position to get it done this year. I would argue, though, that there's more familiarity with the highs of this season to be able to take you across the finish line than what's happened a year ago, but experience is experience all the same. That's Jonathan Taylor talking there. Credit to Colts.com and the Colts YouTube channel for the audio, as always. We're going to step away. When we come back, we'll take that trip around the National Football League. We'll give you our best bets for the day and give you final thoughts headed in to Colts Jaguars. We are nothing but good vibes today, people.
Feeling good.
Beautiful. Well timed by you. We're feeling good today. I don't want to hear anything in the realm of negativity.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Because this needs to be a day where you're looking over at somebody Could be your wife. Could be a girlfriend. Could be just somebody at the Colts viewing party you're at. And after today, I just want you to be like,
I like it too, baby.
That's all you should be saying today. Ludacris once said, I like that. I like it too, baby, about the Colts. That's it. Because you should be postseason bound by the end of this day. I'm not saying don't watch. Please watch it. Please listen here on 935-1075 The Fan. Matt Taylor does a wonderful job, as is Rick Venturi and Larry Overton. So be sure to tune into the game and enjoy it. But enjoy it knowing that the scenarios where the Colts lose, like, man, it is going to be a wild week here at The Fan if the Colts lose this game. But again, it's all good vibes and positivity. I just don't see it happening. Around the NFL, up next, best bets and any questions you have for us for bets in Week 18 on the other side. 93.5-1075, The Fan.
Join the Indianapolis Donato's Pep Rally. Choose the 150 pepperoni pizza or spicy pepperoni for just $1 more than a large one topping. Order at Donatos.com. Text and delivery extra.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went, and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Hypnosis to destroy unwanted cravings. January 20th at the Holiday Inn Hotel in Carmel. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. And January 22nd at the La Quinta Inn and Suites in Indianapolis. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 to 4 p.m. Registration begins 30 minutes before seminar.
PropSwap is where America buys and sells sports bets. The College National Championship is finally here, right here in Indianapolis, and PropSwappers are cashing in. Like Jesse from New York, who sold his 100-1 Michigan college football ticket for $1,800 on PropSwap. Jesse locked in his profit when he turned in that $120 bet into $1,800. The buyer got great odds, and the seller made 15 times his bet. PropSwap has thousands of buyers and sellers across the country, so you'll always find the best odds and collect the most money for your bets. The Alabama-Georgia showdown is Monday night. Hurry and download the free PropSwap app today. PropSwap has exclusive, fantastic features like filtering listed tickets based on best value, a free activity feed to stay in the know with all the big sales and red-hot tickets for sale, and a first deposit cash match. Use promo code ODDS on your first deposit, and PropSwap will match your deposit up to $500. Join the real sports bettors on PropSwap, where America buys and sells sports bets.
Now extended through January 14th, join a clean and spacious Planet Fitness for zero enrollment and only $10 a month. With tons of equipment and free fitness training, it's the perfect place for everybody to work out.
Even me, mister. I'm so stressed I grind my teeth more than most people grind coffee.
Especially you. Give your anxiety-clenched jaw a rest.
My molars will be so happy.
Start feeling fit-tacular today. Join in club or at planetfitness.com. Zero enrollment, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 14th. See club for details.
It's not just adults who can feel stressed out. Our children feel stressed too. I'm Tammy Silverman of Indiana Youth Institute. Between school demands, maintaining friendships, and expectations from adults, it's no wonder that children sometimes feel stressed out. But unlike adults, experts say children may not be able to recognize stress or know how to cope. Luckily, you can help your child handle the challenges they're facing. Start by making yourself available to talk and be a good listener. Let your child express their views, and when you respond, focus on your child's feelings rather than your own. You can also ask your child what they need from you, whether it's advice or help solving a problem. But if stress is still overwhelming, experts recommend you reach out to a licensed mental health professional to make sure your child gets the support they need and deserve. This Kids Count Minute is a message from Indiana Youth Institute. For more parent tips, visit IYI.org.
Kids Count on you.
Everybody buckle up. Mom. Buckle up.
Let's go.
Buckle up.
Can we go to the store? Mom, can we get some ice cream?
Everybody, buckle up.
A lot goes on in the car, but you're in control. So only move when you hear the click that says they're buckled in. Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. Whether you want to learn Spanish for future travel plans, French to connect with extended family, or maybe German to land a new job, Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you'll actually use. All you need is 15 minutes a day, and you'll be on your way to confidently speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel is designed by real language experts using a modern, conversation-based technique that makes learning fun, engaging, and best of all, memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then sentences gradually get more complex. Soon you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. And with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll be sure to learn what matters most to you. Babbel, language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Many business owners and entrepreneurs today are drowning in unsecured debt and just can't stop incurring more. Business Debtors Anonymous is a 12-step recovery program where you will receive support for doing business and living life without incurring new unsecured debt. Business Debtors Anonymous offers meetings every day where members support one another to help them stop incurring new unsecured debt. You're not alone. Visit helpfordebtors.org. That's helpfordebtors.org.
With an easy refinance, our clients on average save over $350 a month. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
NMLS number 1326-241.
Join us on The Fan and listen to Jason Hammer on You Bet with Bet Rivers, 7 to 8 p.m. on Thursdays, where you can get all the betting advice you would ever need.
Hey, wake up. We're talking football. It's the Way Too Early pregame show on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Back at the Way Too Early pregame show in the DriveHubler.com studios, high above the circle. Playoff Central. Had some concerts out there. You still see all the lights and sponsorship. Man, I tell you what, I would hate to be staying at a hotel nearby on the circle with all the concerts going on, all the lights. I mean, I guess you'd enjoy it for a bit, but man, if you have like a early morning meeting, it's tough. No?
I think it would be. But I'm just having meetings on the weekends in the morning.
As somebody that's experienced that, was in Vegas for Summer League a couple of years ago, and Marshmello of all people, which I realize for probably our listening audience, there's maybe a 30% chance that's going to resonate. He was where I stayed and overlooked the pool, and he was doing an outdoor concert. That thing didn't go over until like 4 at an early day the next day. So I can't imagine for those that are here, that's easy. But hopefully if you're here for all the festivities and you're enjoying yourself. And if you are a visitor out of town and listening to us, maybe it's just come to your realization that you come from a state that gambling is not legal, but it's legal here, baby. So let's give you some bets as we roll through the day, help you get started in that regard. That's been on my mind a lot this week, Eddie, is our friends from Georgia and Alabama that might be in town, that betting is not legal there, and they have the opportunity to do so this week. Would you do that if you were a fan and you were in a place where betting was legal? Would you place a wager on your team, or any wagers for that matter?
Probably.
I think I would. I think for the fun of it.
To experience what the thrill of.
Yeah. Because at that point, the hooks of degeneracy aren't in me just yet, right? I'm just a innocent little flower.
I'm just an innocent.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the right word. I couldn't think of it.
I stole it. Little flower. Innocent, delicate flower is the right one.
Prepubescent, I think is the word I was looking for.
Okay. It's fine too. So anyway, that's just been a wild thought on my mind. I'm interested to see how the handle goes up, if it does at all, for sportsbooks around the state with out-of-towners being here from states where gambling is not legal. Time to take a look around.
National Football League.
There you go.
It's more important than life itself.
Indeed it is. Start with Packers at the Lions. Eddie was thinking about this for the beer bet.
No, I was not.
Packers favored by 3. Devontae Adams, he knows that himself and the starters need to play on Sunday.
The biggest part for me is just not being out 2 weeks before going into, a heated playoff matchup. I just don't like having that type of time off going into a game like that. Obviously we're going to have a great team coming in to play us at Lambeau, so being as fresh as possible as far as, obviously being fresh legs-wise and all of that stuff, we want to be there, but just kind of having things fine-tuned a little bit, get out there on the grass a little bit, run around. I'm just not thinking about it too much. Obviously, there's risk, but there's risk going to across the street. So at this point, you can't run from it. If you're scared, go to church and just do what you got to do. And we're not thinking too much about it. Just want to keep the wheels turning and get ready for playoffs.
Man, I like Devontae Adams, really do. I'm sorry that he's going to end up being franchise tagged, and assuming the Packers actually make good and trade Aaron Rodgers, that he's going to be stuck in Green Bay with Jordan Love, but. I really like him a lot.
Depends on where he goes.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean if they get something back for? Yeah, I guess you could. Though I think they're going to give. I think they're not. I think they want to build around Love. I mean, I don't know. That's just from the outside looking in. I would lay the inexplicable 3 that is here. Eddie and I can't find heads or tails with it. That they're only favored by 3 points against Man Campbell and the Detroit Lions. Which, by the way, Dan Campbell has grown on me as the year goes on. I really like him. Because say what you will, he's crazy, but I believe he's authentic.
I do too.
And I think players recognize that. I think he's truly an authentic figure, that it's not just a caricature. Sure, biting off kneecaps and all that is wild, but I think this is who he is. And I respect that. You laying the 3?
Oh, yeah.
Good call.
No question.
Good call. I thought maybe you were leaning Lions way. Bengals at Browns. That laugh felt very fake. Bengals at Browns. Cleveland favored by 5. Listen to Joe Burrow. Be good to get some rest. Bengals can't play for anything, right? They're pretty much
they're in. It's just what seed are they?
Wouldn't you want to improve the seed a little bit? I don't.
Right.
All right, let's listen to Joe Burrow, though, saying it'll be good to get some rest.
Anytime you can get a little break at this point of the season, we've played a lot of games. The bodies are starting to wear down a little bit, and you can rest me this week and get my body back to where it needs to be, so I can be full strength, running around the way I need to be week 1 of the playoffs.
They're resting starters when they already have a playoff spot locked up? What? I mean, I guess you're guaranteed a home game now. And you're guaranteed no worse than 4. And only way you could get 2 or 1, I think it's only 2. I don't think they can get all the way to 1.
No.
Is if crazy things happen. So I guess I get it to an extent. And now that Kansas City's 1, you can't get 2. So now it's just 1 spot of 4 or 3. At that point, I kind of get rest in the starter. I take back what I said. As I talked that out, I get it. Like, only 1 spot, it's not really going to help you unless 1 and 2 falter.
Plus, Burrow got nicked up there at the end of that Chiefs game, didn't he? He left the game.
I thought he did, man, but then I saw him in the locker room afterwards, and maybe it was adrenaline, but that victory cigar, he was strutting around. But you're right, he did. He did get a little banged up towards the end there after him and Jamar Chase went off for a record-setting day. At least for Chase, anyway. Oh, man. Why are you blitzing on 3rd and 27? Why? So that's an internal dialogue.
I mean, how do you give up 30 yards on 3rd and 27?
Well,
that's the bigger question.
Because you've seen a man toast you all day long. And what do? You say, it's not going to happen again. What is most likely to happen there? You're going to get mossed. Whatever. I'm not talking about it. I'm going to waste the whole segment. I'm not doing it. On the greener pastures. He didn't blitz, by the way, yesterday. There was a situation similar to it. Did not blitz. Talking about Steve Spagnuolo, Chiefs defensive coordinator. Steelers, Ravens. Ravens favored by 3.5. The swan song for Big Ben. In all likelihood. Let's listen to Big Ben talking about how they can only worry about themselves on Sunday because, of course, the Steelers can still get in the playoffs if some things happen.
We have to focus on us. I mean, that's our number one focus is us winning the football game because nothing happens if we don't. So that'll be, our 99.9% of our focus because we're human. We're probably still going to be peaking, but we have to win our football game. That's all. I mean, that has to be our big focus.
That tie that the Steelers had, good Lord, the Steelers had earlier this year has assured Mike Tomlin yet another, I think 13th straight, 15th consecutive non-losing season as a head coach. Which, by the way, that's great, but people bash me about this. That's still a bad season. It doesn't really matter losing season. That's a great stat to keep.
I thought they would be worse, in all honesty. I thought they would have a losing record.
Yeah, I did too. I suppose that's fair, but still. Give credit where credit is due. Mike Tomlin, one of the strongest minds in the league and a strong innovator as well. The Titans at the Texans. Get on those cowboy hats. Let's go Texans. Pulling for him today.
Oh,
Titans favored by 10.5.
You a Davis Mills believer?
Davis Mills experience, baby. Oh, man. Is David Johnson still a thing? He's still going strong there?
No, it's Rex Burkhead's team now.
You're right. It is. It is Rex Burkhead's team. It's a good point. Brandon Cook still alive?
Oh, yeah, he's still there.
There you go. So, yeah, air it up to Cooks with the carcass that is left from Bill O'Brien's tenure. Future Jaguars head coach, Bill O'Brien. Good Lord. If you ever have a problem, go find Nick Saban. He'll help you. He'll get you on the better path. Titans favored by 10.5. Let's listen to Tannehill. Oh, Ryan. Titans have a golden opportunity.
Well, it's huge. Big opportunity for us. A division game on the road, and you mentioned everything we have at stake. To be able to lock in the 1 seed and secure home field advantage would be huge for us. So excited for the opportunity to go down there and play some really good football and come away with a win.
Are the Tennessee Titans the least intimidating 1 seed in NFL history? My column. You lay the 10.5. Or you scooping?
I'm not touching.
Not touching? All right. For the sake of the Chiefs, I'm scooping the 10.5. Sprinkling a little bit on the Texans money line.
Plus 400.
Ooh. 49ers at Rams. LA favored by 3.5. Let's go with George Kittle, Niners tight end, saying they will not get overwhelmed. And I'm assuming I'm quoting exactly what he's going to say. This pressure-packed Week 18 game.
It's football. Is there more pressure? Obviously. But I feel like this team, we've been playing playoff games or kind of been playing for our season since the Vikings week. And, the only difference now is there's no guarantee that, we have a chance to save the season again after this week. So, yes, is there more pressure? But it's still football, and I think our team's done a really good job so far this week. Past weeks of, coming together, working hard, and, just executing. And I think that's all we got to do this week. Just go out and play our football and, not turn the ball over and get some turnovers, and I think we'll be just fine.
Jimmy Garoppolo is active and expected to start per Schefter and Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissaro, even though he's got a torn ligament in his hand. Speaks to you on where the confidence is with Trey Lance.
Lance didn't look great at times last week, but he looked serviceable. I think he's personally a better playmaker than Jimmy Garoppolo. He also won in my fantasy championship as well because he got 23 points, and I had to start him last week and saved me from not starting Boston Scott or other names that I talked about a week ago. In fact, I didn't even start Ogunbowale. I benched him, and I can't remember who ended up starting.
You didn't start Jarrett Patterson either.
No, but that would have been a long shot for me. Yeah. I know we talked about it, but I would have had to.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Really, really proud.
Jamar Chase, baby. 5-8 AFC Richmond Greyhounds. 2021-2022 league champions. Gotta love it. Shout out Ted Lasso. Need some Ted Lasso liners. I'm going to go home and I'm going to look at some, get them ready for next week. Saints favored by 3.5 against the Falcons. No audio here. I don't need to hear from Taysom Hill. You laying 3.5?
With the Saints, right?
Yeah. Also, by the way, Rams...
I probably would.
49ers playoff chances drop to 41% should they lose today. Win, they're a lock. So...
For who?
49ers. I went back again.
I would probably lay the 3.5 with the Saints.
Do we say you laying 3.5 with the Rams, or you scooping?
Oh yeah.
3? Okay. Yeah, I can't blame you. Do the same.
I like the over in that game too. 45.5 seems low.
Next up, last game for you. God, the Chargers. Who do the LA Chargers play? God. Oh, that's right. That's right, baby. The Raiders. Eddie's Las Vegas Raiders. It's our beer bet today. I love a do or die quote. Let's go Joey Bosa's way. Let's go Joey Bosa. Do or die time for the Chargers.
I think we all know what's at stake here on both sides. So yeah, it's a huge game. These are the kind of games you wish you were playing, this time of year, and we are this year. So just a great opportunity for both sides, and I think we all grasp that for sure. I think all the coaches have really great sense of urgency along with everybody this week. But yeah, we definitely understand what's at stake.
I got to be honest, I only heard Joey Bosa speak like twice. I expected more energy from that. I understand it's a press conference and maybe he's soft-spoken, but man, there's not a lot of inflection in that at all whatsoever. Whatever. That's just my thoughts on it. -3, I would lay the 3 with the Chargers, but again, mine and Eddie's beer bet is strictly money line. Eddie, I take it since you're got the Raiders forced upon you, you would also scoop the 3?
I do like the Raiders. I think it's a little bit of an emotional game for them. They are honoring John Madden before the game. They're going to do a little ceremony. I believe his family will be there. I think they have a torch.
I better buy you the beer now. That's it. I got no shot. There's no chance. Yeah, you're right. No, I take it back.
Tricked you into the Raiders, baby.
Raiders! Sad for me. Wait, you say that it's an emotional game and they're honoring Madden? All right, I'm happy they're honoring Madden. This is not, to clarify, the following is not that they're honoring Madden. It is that it's happening today with a bet that I have for Eddie.
No, God! No, God, please,
Felt important to clarify.
No!
Let's step away. When we come back, we'll have final thoughts for Colts Jags and some other best bets we have for Week 18 in the NFL. It's the Way Too Early pregame show on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Text and whatever. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's Better Breakfast O'Clock at Wendy's. Get hot and buttery breakfast biscuits made with bacon or sausage, egg, and cheese. So don't risk it. Get a Wendy's biscuit sandwich. Limited time only at participating Wendy's.
Indy's #1 for new country is 97.1 Hank FM.
Maybe some things last forever after all.
Starting your day with 97 minutes of commercial-free new country every weekday morning at 8:30 with Joey and Mindy. More new country and fewer commercials means more of this.
Hey, it's Luke Combs.
This is Carrie Underwood.
Hey, y'all, it's Luke Bryan.
Indy's #1 for new country is
97.1 Hank FM.
Dan Doggett here for DraftKings Sportsbook with an unbelievable offer to get all fans in on the action for this exciting time on the football calendar. New customers can bet just $5 on any football team to win their game. If they do, you win $200 in free bets. DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also bet on football with same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you need it. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code 1075FAN. Bet just $5 on any football team, college or pro, and win $200 in free bets if they're victorious. That's code 1075FAN this week only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You gotta be 21 or older. Indiana only. New customers only. Restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
If you're struggling with weight and frustrated with dieting each and every year, Mark Patrick Seminars can help.
After this hypnosis, I want to eat good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think about desserts like I used to.
Bridget, how much have you lost now?
I've lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful.
And I would just say go for it.
For only $49.99, lose all the weight you want, 100% guaranteed. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick Seminars. That's right. Seminars Thursday, January 20th at the Holiday Inn Hotel in Carmel. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. And Saturday, January 22nd at the La Quinta Inn and Suites Hotel in Indianapolis. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 to 4 p.m. That's January 20th at Holiday Inn in Carmel and January 22nd at La Quinta Inn in Indy. Registration begins 30 minutes before seminar.
In the early hours after the tsunami, it was ham radio that was on the air, saving lives. When Florida was ripped by hurricanes, the hams were there. In the critical moments after the attack of 9/11, it was the hams who coordinated emergency messages. When disasters strike, the hams are ready. Ham radio works when other communications don't. To learn how you can become a ham radio operator, call the ARRL, the National Association for Amateur Radio, at 1-800-326-3942.
I'm a veteran. My victory was admitting I had PTSD and getting help.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I no longer see it as a weakness, but as a sign of strength. I call it post-traumatic growth.
DAV provides a lifetime of support, helping veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I am a veteran. I lost both legs in Vietnam.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans so they can reach victories great and small.
My victory was getting my benefits and a good education.
I'm a veteran. When I got out, I felt like nowhere was safe.
My victory was finding the help I needed.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
Thanks to DAV, now I feel like I'm human again.
Help support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
You want to feel connected, at one with your world, informed, included, and inspired. So no matter where you are,
we have an accident on the expressway.
When important things happen,
you see this man, contact authorities immediately.
We're here, at all hours, in the moment, on every device in your life. Your local radio and TV broadcasters. We investigate and inform.
Our political investigation saved taxpayers.
Give back to the community.
Our radio station is now accepting donations to help rebuild this community.
Even save lives.
It is time to just hunker down. It's too late now to leave.
America's #1 source for news, weather, and information on your radio, TV, computer, tablet, and smartphone. We are broadcasters. Always here for you, wherever here may be. Tell Washington local stations matter by texting radio to 52886. Furnished by NAB and the station. Message and data rates may apply.
The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention reminds you to care for your mental health in the face of uncertainty. Focus on what's in your control versus what's not. Do what helps you feel a sense of safety. Remind yourself to stay in the present and stay connected with others. Reach the crisis text line by texting TALK to 741-741 or call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. We're in this together, and help is always available.
When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
It's never too early for football.
Yeah, it's too early.
It's the Way Too Early pregame show on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Welcome back for the final time on the Way Too Early pregame show. I'm Jimmy Cook, behind the ones and twos, Eddie Garrison. Follow us on Twitter, myself at the J Cook, Eddie Garrison on Twitter at Eddie Garrison _. About 2 minutes left in this edition of the Way Too Early pregame show. Before we get to Eddie's best bets of the day, I want to remind you folks that the Way Too Early pregame show is officially in win or go home mode. I don't have confirmation that if the Colts miss the playoffs, we'll have a show next week. I think there's a chance we might not. So if this is the last show we do, and I'm going to have to say this every week now since it's the win or go home, I want to thank you, the listener. This has been a fun last couple months getting to bring you our sports thoughts and get you ready for every Colts game. Be the first voices that you hear Colts-wise on the fan every game day or occasionally as a pregame show going through an identity crisis operating as a postgame show. So thank you for that. Thank you for the YouTube chats, the likes, the comments, the engagement, all of it. We appreciate it greatly. Eddie, bets that you like. I know I didn't give you a lot of time.
I do like the Jonathan Taylor over in every almost statistical category. I like the over in his rush yards at 115.5. I like his rush attempts over. If you can get it at 21.5, you got to ride the horse today. And then I like his over of 19.5 for his longest rush.
Still give me Cincinnati scoop the points here. Even with no Joe Burrow playing, there's no Mayfield on the other side, so I feel confident in that. I already told you take the Chargers. Live bet that if you can as well. Emotional game, be damned. And I lost the other one. Lay the 3.5 with the Rams. Those are my bets for the
Colts prediction. You got 15 seconds.
Colts win it today. They win it by a score of, I think I had 35-10.
I have 31-6.
Or 30-10, something like that. Join us next week, potentially, on the Way Too Early pregame show. Enjoy Week 18 and enjoy what will likely be a postseason spot on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Join the Indianapolis Donato's Pep Rally. Choose the 150 pepperoni pizza or spicy pepperoni for just $1 more than a large one topping. Order at Donatos.com. Tax and delivery extra.
Referring a friend on FanDuel Sportsbook could be your ticket to Super Bowl 56. Hey, it's Mark from Kevin Inquiry, and that's right. When you refer a friend on FanDuel